So I'm finally gonna do my review for Candyman 2 Farewell to the Flesh. So here it is, Candyman 2. This is gonna be my review for this. So yeah, stay strap in, get ready, because we're gonna dive right into this. Subscribe to the channel, subscribe to the channel. And yeah, turn on post notifications and pretty much Candyman 2, this is gonna be my review. I'm not gonna get just like with all my other reviews. I mean, I didn't get any views for any of those other reviews, but I mean, it's whatever. I don't really care. But I didn't. Pretty much in those reviews, I didn't really dive deep into everything that happened in those movies. I kind of just gave my overall analysis of what I thought about it and what I didn't like, and that's it. So that's what I'm gonna do for this movie too, and for my Candyman three review. But Candyman 2, I enjoyed the movie. We had a. I think that the soundtrack, the opening was good. And I like the main character of this movie. And I think the overall, like the spookiness and the eeriness and the overall mystery of the urban legend of Candyman, like I thought all of that was still good in this movie too. And I like that they gave some backstory to Candyman's life and how he became to be who he is, right? Like him being a slave and being brutally attacked and pretty much dying because of his love for the girl that he was in love with, and him getting killed because of that. Like I just like that backstory, and that explaining for why he is the way he is. And yeah, I enjoyed that piece of the movie as well. um I think the only issues that I had with this movie is, one, I think that I think that I think most of the characters in this movie are forgettable, and not only that, but like I also think that the kills in this movie weren't as good as the first one. That's just me personally. I don't know, but I just felt like they were way more basic. Just like I feel like in the first movie there was just like we had some brutal and like gory kills, but with this movie, I don't know. I feel like it was kind of tame compared to the first one. I don't. Maybe that's just me. Um, but I don't. Yeah, I just think that's another issue I had with it. Um, I also think it's kind of like too fast paced, in my opinion. I don't know, just something about this movie just felt way too quick. And by the time it's just like we're already at the end. Um, and I also just don't like that they have Candyman just like kind of like going out like so easily towards the end with these. Because like, here's the thing, like these movies, they have Candyman being so indestructible. But then whenever he's like I know this is how horror movies are, plot armor for the main character, but it's like, man, it's even worse for like someone like Canyon, because like this guy's supposed to be supernatural. He's supposed to be literally a ghost of an urban legend, right? Come to life. Um, but then he just gets defeated so easily. Like in the first movie, this guy literally, he got burned. In the second movie, all you have to do is break the mirror, and then in the third movie, you have to break some paintings, just like of him. It's just like, man, I don't know. It just feels like way too easy to defeat this guy. Like in every single movie, it's like it just feels like it kind of takes that like almost indestructible, like scariness of Candyman when you realize like, oh, all you have to do is just like break a painting of him or break a mirror, and then he's just gone. Like I don't know, I don't really like that. For someone like Candyman who's so powerful as he is, he shouldn't be going out that easily. And then like, especially because he's like giving all these long monologues for whatever reason, like towards the end of every single movie. I just don't like that. Um, but I like overall I enjoyed this movie. It was a really fun time, and I think that Candyman 2 was just as good as the first one. In my opinion, I don't think either one was better than the other. I think they were both good for what they are. And honestly, I think when it comes to the urban legend stuff, they bring that urban legend stuff to life, like that kind of like that kind of like just story piece to it. Like they do it better than the urban legend movies, because I feel like with those movies, which ironically, in Urban Legends 3, the Bloody Mary movie, they literally reference Candyman, the first movie, or just like the movies in general, I guess, and him being an urban legend. But it's like, it just made no sense, man. Because like, I mean, like what I mean, what I meant to say was that the thing is with the urban legend movies, I feel like they kind of almost. I think it's because like the urban legends that they commentate on are actual urban legends, and they're like bringing them into the movies, and they're kind of like tying into the movies a little bit too much. Like I feel like it's too reliant on it, and it's just like, I don't know. It's just like it gets kind of confusing too, because then it's like, okay, so if these urban legends are actually real in the urban legend movie universe, then how come everyone's just treating it though like if it's still an urban legend? Like how has no one realized that it's actually a real thing? It's like they're treating Bloody Mary in the movie like if she's some urban legend. But yeah, they have a whole graveyard about her, and they have literally newspapers about her. Like how does people think she's fake? At least with Candyman, he's always been presented as an urban legend. And then, that's how it makes sense why people think he's just fake. And, they just say his name because they don't think anything's going to happen. But I don't know. Like, I feel like the urban legend movies, they tie too much in. They tie the urban legend stuff a little bit too much into the movie itself. And it just becomes kind of confusing for me, at least. Like, is the main characters, like, really that tied into the urban legends that they're talking about in the movie? Like, I mean, I don't know. I don't really like how they do the urban legend stuff in those movies. But with Candyman, because he's not an actual urban legend, he's just some made up urban legend. It's like whatever, they can tie that in to the movie itself and have it be original and have it not be confusing, because it's just simply an urban legend that people think is fake, but it's actually real. So I like that about Candyman. And yeah, I just like Candyman. Obviously, the guy who plays him just does such an amazing job. And so yeah, he's just like, I just love just the creepiness about him, his character, and just the everything, just like his facial expressions, everything about him, man. It's just like just such a good character. I like Candyman, and overall I enjoyed this movie just as much as the first one, in my opinion. But yeah, that's my review for Candyman Farewell to the Flesh, pretty much part 2. And yeah, that's my review. Hopefully you guys enjoy. Like, subscribe to the channel, and I'm gonna do my Candyman 3 review right after this. So yeah.